The sky was quiet. No sound, no wind, just silence over the cities, over the forests, over the oceans. Then, everything changed. A shadow fell from the sky, big enough to cover half the world. People looked up and gasped. A giant alien ship floated above Earth. It was black, with glowing red lines. Its size was impossible to believe. Every news channel in the world showed it. People screamed. Cars stopped. Soldiers pointed their weapons at the sky, but they knew it was useless. A deep voice echoed across the planet. It did not come from any speaker, but from inside every human's mind. The voice was cold, proud, full of power. "We are the Draconians," it said. "Your world is weak. Your weapons are small. Your armies are nothing. You will kneel or be destroyed." And then the voice laughed. A cruel, sharp laugh that sent fear into every heart. People cried. Some fell to their knees. Others ran. Leaders called for calm, but their hands were shaking. In space, 10 more Draconian ships appeared. Each one looked like a flying fortress. They formed a circle around Earth like hunters around prey. The message was clear. Earth had no chance. The aliens thought this would be easy. A quick war, a soft target. They had done this before. They had crushed many planets, but they did not know Earth. Far below the ice of Antarctica, deep in a hidden bunker, red lights turned on. A woman in a black uniform stood in front of a frozen door. Her name was Commander Rhea. She stared at the large screen showing the alien ships. "They finally came," she whispered. "Activate Project Revenant." A younger officer looked shocked. "But Commander, it's not ready." Commander Rhea didn't blink. "It doesn't matter. We built it for this moment. Wake it up." In the dark hall behind her, the frozen door hissed. Steam escaped. A large chamber opened. Inside was something not fully human. A tall figure, covered in armor, stood still. Its eyes were closed, but not for long. The voice of the Draconians came again. "You have 1 day to surrender. After that, we will burn your cities. We will take your resources. We will leave only ashes." The message ended. The alien ships moved slowly into position. Cities began evacuations. Planes filled the skies. People packed bags, cried, prayed. The world felt hopeless. But back in the bunker, something was moving. The figure inside the chamber took its first step. Its eyes opened, glowing blue. It scanned the room, then spoke. The voice was calm, clear, and strong. Designation: Ghost 01. Status: activated. Mission: defend Earth. Commander Rhea stepped forward. "You were built for this, Ghost. The Draconians think we are weak. Prove them wrong." Ghost 01 turned its head. "Understood." Miles away, in orbit, the Draconian High Commander stood on his ship's bridge. His scales were dark red, his eyes sharp like knives. He looked down at Earth and smiled. "This world will be easy," he told his officers. "The humans are soft. They do not know real war." An officer laughed. "Shall I prepare the fire squads?" The High Commander nodded. "Let them scream. Let them beg. It will be over soon." But just as he turned away, one of the ship's screens began to flicker. A signal was detected, a human signal, coming from the surface. Strong, focused, not a cry for help, but a message. It read, "We are not afraid. You should be." The High Commander frowned. "What is this?" he growled. Back on Earth, Ghost 01 stepped into a transport ship. The engines roared. The pilot looked nervous. Are you really going to fight them alone?" Ghost 01 looked straight ahead. "I am not alone. I am the beginning." The ship took off, flying fast toward the closest alien landing zone. The world watched. Every camera followed the strange figure flying into danger. Hope began to grow in people's hearts. A whisper started online, then spread through the cities, the towns, The bunkers. We have a revenant. And somewhere, far beyond Earth, in a hidden part of space, something else woke up. Something old. Something powerful. It heard Ghost 01's signal and began to move. The Draconians had laughed. They would not laugh for long. 30 years ago, Earth was different. There were no alien ships, no warnings from the stars. People still fought each other, not knowing what waited out in space. But deep underground, in a hidden lab built by the United Nations, a few people were preparing for something the rest of the world couldn't see. They believed Earth would not be alone forever. They believed something would come. And they were right. The lab was called Black Site Zero. Hidden beneath Antarctica's ice, it was cold, silent, and full of secrets. Only the highest leaders knew about it. The rest of the world thought it was just a weather station. But inside, scientists were working on something no one had ever seen before. A new kind of soldier. Not human, not machine, but something in between. They called it Project Revenant. It started after a strange signal was picked up from deep space. The signal was short, but powerful. It was not natural. It had a pattern. A warning. Scientists tried to hide it, but a few generals saw the truth. If aliens existed, they could be enemies. Earth needed to be ready. But Earth's armies were too small, its weapons too weak. So the scientists were told to build something smarter, faster, stronger. It took 20 years to finish the first Revenant. The tests were hard. Many failed. Some broke. Some went mad. But finally, they created a success. It looked human, but it was not born. It was built. Its bones were metal. Its brain was part AI. Its heart beat, but it didn't need food or sleep. It could learn. It could fight. It could survive in space. They gave it a name, Ghost 01. But when the project finished, there was no threat. The stars were quiet. No one came. The world laughed at the cost. Billions spent on something that was never used. So the project was shut down. Ghost 01 was put to sleep, frozen inside a sealed chamber. The key was hidden. Only one person kept the code, Commander Rhea. Now, 30 years later, the sky was full of warships, and Ghost 01 had awakened. The transport ship flew fast across the clouds. Ghost 01 stood silently inside, scanning maps, watching the Draconian ships landing across the world. One city after another fell into chaos. The aliens did not wait. They dropped fire from the sky. Their weapons melted steel. Their soldiers stood 3 meters tall, covered in black armor with glowing yellow eyes. They crushed tanks. They tore apart fighter jets like toys. The pilot of the ship looked nervous. "They're everywhere. What are you going to do?" Ghost 01 answered without turning. "Fight." The ship dropped low over a ruined city, Cairo. Smoke filled the sky. People ran through the streets. Alien drones flew above, hunting anyone left behind. Ghost 01 jumped from the ship without a parachute. It hit the ground with a heavy thud, cracking the road. It stood up slowly and looked around. The drone above spotted it and fired. Ghost 01 moved like a shadow. 1 second, it was there. The next, it was behind the drone. A quick strike with a glowing blade, and the drone fell, sliced in half. The alien troops on the ground turned, surprised. They had never seen a human move like that. They opened fire. Ghost 01 charged. Bullets and plasma hit its armor, but it kept moving. Fast. Focused. Each step was death. One Draconian tried to run. Ghost 01 threw a blade. It hit the alien between the eyes. People hiding in the buildings peeked out. They saw the strange figure fighting back and winning. One child whispered to her mother, "Is that a hero?" Her mother replied, "I don't know, but it's on our side." From orbit, the Draconian High Commander watched the battle. His face twisted with confusion. "What is that thing?" His officer replied, "It fights like us, maybe better." The High Commander growled. Impossible. No human can do this. Find it. Kill it. Back on Earth, Ghost-01 stood in a pile of smoke and broken metal. Alien blood dripped from its blade. A small human resistance group appeared from a nearby shelter. One of them stepped forward, a woman with a torn jacket and a rifle. She looked at Ghost-01, unsure. Who are you? Ghost-01 turned its glowing eyes toward her. I am the Revenant. Then it walked away. In the control room at Black Site Zero, Commander Rhea watched everything through the screens. For the first time in years, she smiled. You wanted a war, Draconians, she whispered. Now you have one. And far above Earth, inside one of the smaller Draconian ships, a message played on repeat. It had no origin, no clear source. But the words were simple. Cold. A promise. You thought Earth was weak. You were wrong. The Revenant had only just begun. The Draconians were ready. Their main fleet was above Earth. Their troops had landed in over 20 cities. Their ships floated over New York, Beijing, Paris, and more. They came with fire and power. They expected no resistance. But in New York, something unexpected was waiting. The Draconian drop pod crashed in the middle of Times Square. It shook the ground. Metal panels opened. Soldiers marched out. Tall, strong, armed with plasma cannons and thick armor. Humans screamed and ran. The soldiers aimed, but did not fire yet. One of them spoke through a loudspeaker. This city now belongs to the Draconian Empire. Kneel and live. But no one kneeled. And then, something moved in the smoke. From a side street, a figure walked forward slowly. Not afraid. Not running. Just calm, steady steps. The smoke cleared around it. The figure was tall, covered in silver and black armor. Its eyes glowed blue. On its back, 2 long blades. It looked human, but not normal. One of the Draconian soldiers raised a scanner. Life form detected, it said. Human. Modified. Unknown. The leader of the Draconian squad stepped forward. Kill it. 5 plasma guns fired at once. The blasts lit up the street. Explosions shook windows. Fire burst through cars. When the light faded, the figure was gone. One Draconian turned around. Too late. Ghost-01 was behind him. A glowing blade came out, fast and quiet. One strike, and the soldier fell. The others fired again. Ghost-01 moved like wind. Too fast. It dodged every shot. It jumped high, flipping over the attackers. It landed hard on another soldier, blade stabbing down through armor. Sparks flew. Blood sprayed. The last 3 soldiers tried to retreat. They backed into a wall. Ghost-01 walked toward them, slow but deadly. One dropped his weapon. The other screamed. The leader raised his hand, not to fight, but to beg. Please. But Ghost-01 didn't stop. A few moments later, the street was silent again. Alien bodies lay broken across the ground. From a rooftop, a group of hidden human resistance fighters watched everything. One of them, a young man named Eric, turned to his friend. Did you see that? He took them all down alone. Another whispered, That's not a man. That's something else. Their radios buzzed. A voice came through. Commander Rhea. This is Central Command. All units, be advised. Revenant has entered the battlefield. Meanwhile, in orbit, the High Commander of the Draconian fleet slammed his fist on the table. What is this creature? He roared. Why are we losing squads? An officer looked at a screen. Our scans say it's a biotech warrior. Advanced. Faster than us. Smarter, maybe. The High Commander's eyes narrowed. It's just one. One thing. We will destroy it. He gave a new order. Send in the hunters. Back in New York, Ghost-01 stood alone, scanning the city. Fires burned in the distance. People cried in the streets. Ghost-01 walked past a woman holding her child. She flinched, but Ghost-01 stopped. It looked at the child. The child stared back, eyes wide. Ghost-01 spoke quietly. "No fear. You are Earthborn." Then it walked on. Soon, another drop pod crashed nearby. But this time, it was different. The Draconians inside were not regular soldiers. These were hunters, elite killers, trained for close combat. They wore red armor. Their blades glowed with acid heat. Ghost-01 turned to face them. The street was wide and empty. It would be a real fight this time. The hunters didn't wait. They rushed forward. Ghost-01 drew both blades. Metal clashed. Sparks flew. The battle was fast, brutal. One hunter tried to grab Ghost-01's arm. Ghost-01 spun, kicked him through a wall, and stabbed the next one in the leg. But the others were strong. One cut into Ghost-01's armor. Another knocked it back. For a second, Ghost-01 fell to one knee. The Draconian hunters surrounded it. "Now you die," one of them hissed. But Ghost-01 spoke. "No, now I learn." Suddenly, its eyes flashed brighter. It moved faster than before. It copied the hunters' attacks, matched their style, adapted. It dodged, struck, and broke their formation. One by one, the hunters fell. And then, it was over. Ghost-01 stood, armor cracked but still alive. The city was saved, for now. All over the planet, the video of the fight spread. Someone had recorded it on a phone. It was everywhere in minutes. People saw the alien defeat. They saw the Revenant. Hope returned to Earth. In space, the High Commander stared at the report. "Impossible," he said. His officer spoke slowly. "Sir, maybe Earth is not weak." The High Commander said nothing, but his claws tapped nervously on the table. The Revenant had drawn first blood. The real war was just beginning. "You said." The Draconian flagship floated in silence above Earth. Inside, the High Commander stared at a large screen. It showed reports from every battle zone. Red dots meant lost units. There were too many red dots, too many losses. "This should not be happening," he growled. Earth was supposed to fall in hours, but 3 days had passed. Cities were still standing. Human forces were not just running. They were fighting back. Worse, they were winning small battles. Ambushes, hacks, traps, and always, the same name appeared in the reports. Revenant. The High Commander turned to his science officer. "Explain this to me." The officer bowed his head. "The human warrior is something new. It is learning. It is improving." The High Commander's voice rose. "How?" "It is just one." "Not anymore," the officer said quietly. A new screen opened. It showed a second figure, moving through the ruins of Berlin. Smaller than Ghost-01. Faster. It looked like a child, but moved like lightning. "We believe they have started building more," the officer said. "Revenant-02 is already active." The High Commander slammed a claw on the table. "They are copying our tactics. They learn too fast." He looked out the window at Earth. "Then we must remind them why we rule the stars." But down on the surface, Earth had already started a different kind of war. In a hidden base under the Rocky Mountains, Earth's top scientists and hackers worked day and night. Their goal was simple: break into Draconian systems, steal their secrets, use their power. A young hacker named Mira sat in front of 5 screens. Her fingers moved fast. "I found something," she said. "They use a quantum link to control their weapons. If we can tap into that, we can shut them down." Commander Rhea appeared on the main screen. "How long?" "Give me 6 hours," Mira said. "And a lot of coffee." At the same time, human engineers were working with pieces of broken Draconian tech. They melted armor, pulled apart weapons, studied power cells. One soldier even laughed as he tested a stolen plasma gun. "They brought the tools. We just have to figure out how to use them." Across the planet, small victories gave people hope. In Paris, a revenant took down a landing ship using nothing but a steel beam and perfect timing. In Nairobi, resistance fighters used hacked Draconian drones to strike a command post. In Tokyo, humans blocked a teleport signal, trapping an alien squatted underground. One alien general sent a message to the High Commander: "We are not fighting animals. We are fighting hunters." Meanwhile, Ghost 01 moved alone through the ruins of Moscow. His armor was damaged, but his systems were still sharp. He searched for a signal, a hidden Draconian relay. The mission was simple: find it and destroy it. But the place was quiet. Too quiet. Then movement. 3 cloaked Draconian assassins dropped from the buildings. They surrounded him. Ghost 01 paused. "I see you now," he said. The assassins attacked at once. Blades flashed. Walls cracked. Snow fell from broken rooftops. But Ghost 01 had learned. He had studied their moves in every past fight. Now he was faster. He disabled the first with a neck strike, kicked the second through a wall. The third tried to run. Ghost 01 threw a blade. Perfect aim. Silence followed. He walked to the relay tower and placed a charge. As it exploded, a Draconian message broadcasted into space by mistake. Requesting backup. Earth resistance is stronger than expected. Revenant units are spreading. We need help now. The signal traveled far, beyond the edge of the Draconian Empire. Back on the flagship, the High Commander watched the flames rise from Earth's surface. "They are small," he said, "but dangerous." The science officer replied, "Their strength is not in size. It is in thinking. They fight with ideas, not just weapons." The High Commander turned away. "Then we must crush their ideas, burn their cities, break their hope." But in his heart, even he felt it. Fear, a fear he had not felt in years. On Earth, Commander Rhea spoke to Ghost 01 over a secure channel. "You did well. You've given us time. And now, it's time we fight on their level." Ghost 01 asked, "You want to take the battle to space?" She nodded. "Yes. We strike their fleet. We show them Earth doesn't wait." In secret bases across Earth, ships were being built. Fast ships, sharp, packed with stolen alien tech. Ghost 01 walked into a hangar and stared at one of them. "Is it ready?" he asked. A mechanic gave a thumbs up. "It flies. It kills. That's all you need." Ghost 01 stepped onto the ramp. Behind him, 2 new revenants followed. Earth was done waiting. Now, Earth would strike back. And for the first time, the Draconians looked to the stars, not as conquerors, but as prey. The stars were quiet, but not for long. From Earth's surface, 3 sharp, dark ships launched into the sky. They moved fast, almost too fast for the eye. These were not normal ships. They were built in secret using Draconian tech, human creativity, and revenant precision. Their mission was simple: strike the enemy fleet in orbit and survive. Inside the lead ship, Ghost 01 sat in the pilot's seat. His eyes glowed faintly. The others were behind him. Revenant 02 and Revenant 03. Each one had a different design. One fast and thin, the other heavy and armed. Together, they were Earth's spear in the dark. Ghost 01's voice was calm. "Mission start." As they left Earth's atmosphere, the stars opened wide. And with them, the Draconian fleet came into view. Massive, deadly, countless. Ships the size of cities. Cruisers, carriers, war beasts, all watching Earth like hunters in the sky. But now, Earth was hunting back. Revenant 03 locked onto a small patrol ship. "Target in range," it said. "Destroy it," Ghost 01 replied. A beam of light fired. The patrol ship exploded in silence. Just like that. 1 kill. But now, the Draconians were alert. Sirens blared in their mothership. Fighters launched in every direction. The humans were not hiding anymore. They were attacking. From the main command deck, the High Commander stood tall. "Earth dares come to us now," he growled. "Then we crush them in the stars." He pointed at the screen. "Bring down those ships." Hundreds of Draconian fighters swarmed forward like insects. The Revenants didn't back away. They split and began to dance between the stars. Ghost 01 rolled hard, dodging lasers, firing back with quiet, perfect shots. 1, 2, 3 kills in seconds. Revenant 02 flew through a tight pack of enemy ships, slicing one clean in half with a stolen plasma blade built into its wing. But it wasn't just speed, it was learning. Each Revenant read the enemy moves. Every twist, every mistake, stored and used. One Draconian pilot shouted through his comms, "They're predicting us. I can't shake them." The Revenants didn't just fight. They studied, improved, adapted. Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Rhea watched the battle unfold through a direct link. "They're doing it," she whispered. "They're breaking the line." Beside her, Mira grinned. "I've hacked into their fleet's comms. I can send a virus to shut down one of their motherships. Give me 60 seconds. "Do it," Rhea ordered. Above, Ghost 01 dove toward a massive Draconian battleship. It was armored, strong, and full of enemy troops. He flew close, too close, almost touching its surface. The enemy guns tried to lock on. Too slow. Ghost 01 flew under the ship, found the weak spot near the engines, and launched a small dark sphere. A whisper from him. "Goodbye." The explosion was bright. The battleship split into two. Fire and metal rained down from the sky. The High Commander watched in rage. This is not war. This is madness. But fear crept into his voice. Earth was not supposed to win. Earth was not even supposed to fight this well. And then, the virus hit. One of the motherships powered down. Its lights went dark. Its weapons stopped. It drifted in space like a broken moon. Humans around the world cheered. Earth had turned the battle around. But the Revenants were not done. Revenant 02 broke through the fleet's center and launched a probe into the command ship's data port. It sent a signal back to Earth, full of maps, codes, and secrets. For the first time, Earth knew how big the Draconian Empire really was, and how far it could reach. Inside the command ship, the High Commander felt something cold in his chest. Not fear, defeat. He gave one last order. "Fall back. Regroup. We fight another day." But it was too late. Ghost 01's ship landed on the surface of the command ship itself. He stepped out alone. Soldiers ran to stop him. He moved like a storm. His blades sang in silence. His steps were death. He reached the bridge. The doors opened. The High Commander turned, claws raised. "What are you?" Ghost 01 stared at him with glowing blue eyes. "I am the future you laughed at." In one clean move, it was over. Earth had not just defended itself. It had struck into the heart of the stars. As the Draconian fleet retreated into the darkness, messages from Earth echoed through the systems they left behind. "We are not your prey. We are not weak. We are human." And in that silence, the stars began to fear Earth. The stars were no longer silent. Earth's name now echoed in every Draconian system. It spread from ship to ship, planet to planet, not as a whisper, but as a warning. They built warriors from ruins. They broke our fleets. They sent death into space, and called it Revenant. Inside the Draconian Senate, powerful leaders gathered. They had ruled for centuries. Their voices once commanded empires. But now, they argued in fear. The humans must be crushed. They are only one planet that just destroy our flagship. The room went quiet. Then a voice spoke, calm but sharp. "This is not just about humans. This is about what they have become." It was Lord Valtrax, the Empire's oldest war scholar. His skin was gray, his eyes cold. They learn too fast. They build from nothing. and they do not give up. He pointed to a large screen. It showed maps of the Draconian sector. Red dots blinked near the edges. New red dots. What are those? One senator asked. Earth's ships, Valtrax replied. They are not defending anymore. They are attacking. The room fell silent again. Back on Earth, inside the mountain base, Commander Rhea stood in front of a new war map. Human ships were launching every hour now. Small, fast, deadly. They didn't try to take planets. They didn't fight long battles. They struck and vanished. They're learning guerrilla space warfare, Mira said. Hit and run. Weak points only. Rhea nodded. Good. Let the Empire bleed from the edges. Revenant units now had names. Ghost, Wraith, Shade, Phantom. Some were AI, others half-human. All were dangerous. They operated far from Earth, attacking Draconian outposts, stealing fuel, breaking communication lines. And still, Ghost 01 led them. He had become a legend, even among Draconians. One captured alien said in fear, "You don't see him. You just die." But it wasn't just about fighting. Earth was also building alliances. On the outer edges of the galaxy, there were races once enslaved by the Draconians. The Yelten, the Meraki, the Solvans. Now, Earth contacted them. Ghost 01 himself stood in front of a Yelten leader. "We freed ourselves," he said. "Now we fight for more than just Earth. We fight to end their rule." The Yelten leader stared at him, then gave a slow nod. "We will fight with you." And just like that, Earth's rebellion became a galaxy-wide spark. The Draconian Empire began to crack. Pirates joined the fight. Rebels rose from hidden moons. Slave planets overthrew their masters. In just weeks, what was once an empire became a storm of fire and screams. Lord Valtrax watched the news reports. "They turned pain into power," he said. "They turned fear into fire." He turned to the Emperor. "We must use the Omega Protocol." The Emperor's voice was cold. "That weapon is forbidden. It destroys everything." Valtrax stared at him. "Then we use it. On Earth." Back in space, Ghost 01 stood on the bridge of the stolen Draconian cruiser they now used as base. A message had arrived. An old one, from someone he had once known before he became Revenant. It simply said, "They are planning something. Big. Run." Ghost 01 turned to Rhea on the screen. "They're preparing something terrible." Rhea's face hardened. "Then we find it first." Mira broke into deep systems, far into Draconian archives. "There's something called Omega Protocol. I think it's a weapon. Planet level." Rhea's eyes widened. "They're planning to wipe out Earth." Ghost 01 spoke slowly. "Then we must stop them before it's too late." He gathered 4 other Revenants. Wraith 07, Phantom 03, Shade 02, and a new one. Revenant 04, still young, still unsure. "This is the mission," Ghost 01 said. "We go deep into their territory. Find the weapon. Destroy it." Wraith asked, "And if we don't come back?" Ghost 01 looked straight ahead. "Then we still make them remember. Earth doesn't beg." The ship jumped into warp. The mission had begun. Earth was no longer just surviving. Earth was leading a war. And the Draconian Empire, once proud and strong, now stood on the edge of fear, because the humans they laughed at were coming. And this time, they were not coming alone. Deep in the heart of the Draconian Empire, far beyond enemy lines, a black ship drifted silently through space. It carried Earth's most dangerous warriors, the Revenants. Ghost 01 sat in silence, his eyes glowing faintly. Around him were Wraith 07, Phantom 03, Shade 02, and Revenant 04, the newest and youngest of the team. He still looked nervous, but ready. Their mission was clear: find and destroy the Omega Protocol, the secret Draconian superweapon. a weapon powerful enough to erase Earth with one blast. The black ship reached a dark red moon. Beneath its surface was the facility, heavily guarded, hidden, almost impossible to reach. Almost. The ship landed silently. The revenants stepped out, blending into shadows. Each one moved like a ghost. They passed through tight tunnels, avoided cameras, and disabled patrols with silent strikes. Every movement was perfect. Inside the control center, the Draconian guards never saw it coming. One by one, they fell. Then, the team reached the core. There it was, the Omega device, a massive glowing sphere held by chains of energy. It hummed with power. One button, one command, and Earth would be gone forever. Wraith 07 stepped forward. Let's destroy it. But suddenly, alarms screamed. Heavy footsteps echoed. Doors burst open. Draconian elites entered, tall, armored, deadly. The Empire's strongest warriors, the final guard of the Omega device. Phantom 03 raised her blade. They brought their best. Ghost 01 nodded. So did we. The fight began. It was fast, brutal. The room shook with every hit. Metal cracked. Sparks flew. Ghost 01 fought with calm fury, blade in one hand, plasma in the other. Wraith 07 moved like wind, cutting down enemies with speed and precision. But the elites were strong. One grabbed Shade 02 and threw him across the room. Revenant 04 jumped in, protecting his teammate. His hand shook, but then he remembered Earth, the cities, the people, the fight, and his fear became fire. He struck with full force, slamming the elite into the power core. Sparks flew. The elite screamed. The power core cracked. The Omega device glowed brighter, unstable. Mira's voice came through Ghost 01's comlink. That's it. The core is breaking. You have 60 seconds to get out. But Ghost 01 didn't move. He looked at the device. If we leave it now, they might rebuild it. Phantom 03 breathed hard. So what do we do? Ghost 01 looked around. There's only one way. Someone has to stay and finish it. Revenant 04 stepped forward. I'll do it. Ghost 01 shook his head. No, you go. Earth needs you. Then he looked at his team. All of you, out. That's an order. The Revenants hesitated. Then one by one, they nodded and ran. Ghost 01 turned back to the core. His body damaged, armor cracked, but his mind clear. He walked into the energy field, reached the control panel, and set the overload. 30 seconds. He opened a channel to Earth. Commander Rhea's face appeared. I found it, he said. It ends here. Her eyes filled with tears. Ghost. Tell them, he said. We were never weak. We were never broken. We just needed time. The countdown reached 0. A blinding light filled the sky above the red moon. And the Omega device was gone, along with Ghost 01. The Revenants watched from space as the explosion lit the stars. Wraith 07 whispered. He chose to end it. Revenant 04 stood silent, his fist clenched. Then he spoke. He started this war. Now we finish it. Back on Earth, people watched the explosion through live streams. They cried. They cheered. They stood tall. The Draconian Empire tried to fight back, but it was too late. Earth was no longer alone. From every corner of the galaxy, old enemies of the Draconians rose up. With Earth's help, they fought back. Together, they tore the Empire down piece by piece. And when the final Draconian city fell, the stars were quiet again. But not with fear, with freedom. Years later, a statue stood in the heart of New Earth. It was tall, dark, and silent. The shape of a man in armor, one blade in hand, the other reaching toward the sky. The plaque read, Ghost 01, the one who turned fear into fire. the one who made the empire mourn, the human they should never have laughed at. And above the statue, these words were written: "We are Earth. We learn, we fight, we rise, and we never, ever kneel."